In the age of AI,
Yeah.
is trust an endangered species?
No, I think that trust is shifting. We met today, so we could trust each other. But we're meeting each other in very different realms now. It has to evolve for the new world so that we can trust our digital selves the way that we can trust each other in person.
Welcome to Ready or Not, the podcast where we try to figure out if companies are ready for technological advances or not. I will say that myself, Nathan Mcintosh, am a man who is not ready for much more than Blu-ray. Today, I am talking to Diana Kelley.
Hello.
Hi, Diana.
Hey.
Thank you for being here. You are Chief Information Security Officer. Is that a title that you like?
Yes, I do. I like that very much.
Are you sure?
I am absolutely sure that that's who I am.
So you are Diana Kelley.
I am. Yes.
Okay. Got to take your word for that. How does somebody like myself who remembers a time before the internet, how do we just go from a world of like, okay, I don't trust these things to now I do shift my trust into a world that's less human-based?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is about evolving and understanding how the technology has changed. So if you're looking at a company, for example, wanting to know, like a lot of companies right now are dealing with things like deepfakes. And deepfake is a voice or a video clone of somebody that they trust. So there's already been an attack where someone created a video of someone who was in financial services and got somebody at another company to transfer money.
This real?
This is real. That's really happened.
Whose money? The company's money or their own personal?
Company's money.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
How much money?
I think it was in the millions.
Oh my God. How do you even transfer that? If I go to transfer, like I don't think I can Venmo somebody. Do you know what I mean? How do you just transfer this much money?
Well, very large companies there are some companies that are moving around millions of dollars every day or frequently. So
not in the right business, Diana. How do you de-risk?
Well, the first step is to actually understand what people are doing, because people are really excited about AI right now. Are you excited about AI?
Let's say that I am a little bit excited about AI.
Okay, well, let's say you're a little excited about it. Or let's say maybe Karen in financial at your company is excited about it because she just found out that something she was spending 10 hours a quarter to do, like a report, she can do it in 10 minutes. But you as the security person, or me, right? That's my job, is securing the business, making sure that the business stays safe. The business wants to make sure that Karen's not putting all the financial data about the company that goes into that report into, say, like a free website where she's generating. They want to make sure that she's using a company-approved version of the AI, and she's using it in a way that's been vetted and is acceptable to the organization and doesn't put that data at risk. So that's really what it's about. It's about making sure that Karen can do what she needs to do, adopt that AI, not adopt it in a shadow way, but adopt it in a way where everybody gets together and says, this makes sense for the business and doesn't put us or our customers at risk.
Do you think society's getting better at trusting or distrusting sources?
I think we're getting savvier in about AI fakes. I've seen actually on Reddit subreddits, people will say immediately, "Oh, that post came from an AI," and the AI is good enough that the AI will say, "I'm not really an AI," but eventually people can figure it out. So I think that's it. I think you mentioned like your 15-year-old nephew or cousin. Like as people grow up in the new technology world, they're getting better about being able to identify it. And certainly within businesses are getting much better about being able to implement tools and techniques and procedures that help them to validate and verify identities and trust in the new post-AI era.
And we're getting better at that, right? With no security and things. So right now, is this a good time? Let's say I'm a guy and I'd like a couple $1 million from a company. Is today a good day to start a deep fake? I find out who the CEO is. I make a deep fake being like, hey, I'm the CEO. Give Nathan Mcintosh $2 million. Is today still a good time to do that? Or has your security system come so far already that it's too late. I should have done this 2 years ago.
It's getting a lot harder to do it. And so there are a lot of companies that have different aspects of enabling digital trust to make it harder to defraud somebody in the method that I had talked about. So, you know, not every company is savvy. Not every CEO is savvy. Not
What are the
every
names of those
CFO.
companies, and how do I make a deepfake to steal from them?
But companies are absolutely getting smarter, and they're implementing technology that's going to really help them to prevent fraud.
Are we getting there? Like anytime you're talking to anything, you have to go, who are you and what do you want from me?
So this is something we actually do continuous verification as human beings. We're just not really aware of it. And digitally online, continuous verification, or something called zero trust, is being implemented more and more, where organizations do actually do this consistent, continuous, dynamic verification of identity and action throughout organizations, because you can have millions of transactions every hour at a large company. So there is continuous verification digitally. And the nice thing is we have autonomous tools that help us do that very quickly and very accurately. And you can do this for humans and for NHI, non-human identities. So all of these systems and sources and smart TVs and smart coffee makers, right? We have identities for all those that we can validate and verify.
And I love this jacket.
Oh, thank you.
So is one of the things that people who work with security of AI or even in AI, is the idea that AI itself it's fine, but it's the people that use it that is the real problem?
No, I don't think I would say, like, it's not like AI is perfect and it's all human error. It's all, no, there's AI itself is prone to things called that are termed hallucinations. Have you heard this term?
I've heard it so many times today, Diana, that it horrifies me. What I've come to understand about it is that it's basically either misinformation or a mistake that AI has made.
Right. Well, the AI is mathematical, and it's presenting a statistically probable, accurate response for your outcome. So it's by statistical probability. The LLMs, the AI, it can't know if it's right or wrong. So it doesn't know if it's right or wrong. It just looks at all of the data it's been trained on and pushes it through its and then comes out with something that's probably a right answer. And it can have a confidence score, but even that could get thrown off. So yeah, it's giving you an answer that's not accurate. I was interacting with an AI yesterday while I was working on something, and it kept thinking it was 2024, and it kept telling it it's 2025. So those are examples of, so when there's something like a hallucination, the risk here is if a human being is interacting with the AI and thinks, and how many times have you heard this? The AI is so smart. It's so much smarter than me. It knows everything, right? So people will get a wrong answer and think that it's right. And that's risky because people are trusting these machines. There's something called agentic AI, which is using AI autonomously, that the AI wasn't making decisions, or say maybe she wants the report done, but the autonomous agent is now exporting that data out to the public or out to a hacker. So we can help to make sure that isn't happening.
How I get. Do you ever get, maybe I'm crazy, do you ever get scared when you think about certain things like this?
No, because I think that it's important to understand how things work. And when you understand how they work, then you can start to understand how to manage them. So, and also fear, that's a big problem in security, is that we are seen as people who frighten.
I have no idea how a car works. I don't know how. Every time I get on a plane, I think, well, there has to be a wizard under this holding it. So I'm shrieking for most of the flight. I still do it.
Okay.
I guess you're correct.
All right.
So that's my idea of zero trust, right?
Yeah.
Is there the level of zero trust that exists in companies? Is this a real thing that can really exist, or is this a thing that just gets tossed around so that people aren't as scared as they maybe should be?
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right to ask that, because it's a really buzzy term right now. And people do kind of just throw it around with like, oh, we're all zero trust. But no, it's a real thing. Back in the day, we used to call technology, like what we did for trust, a bit of a Malamar. And a Malamar is that cookie candy that's really kind of crunchy on the outside, but then it's soft and gooey marshmallow on the inside. What that meant was, as soon as you authenticate to the corporate network, we trust you.
Mhm.
Anything you want to do, it's kind of all, so it's all kind of soft and gooey on the inside. Zero trust is more like a jawbreaker. It's everything you do. You can get into the corporate network, but I'm still going to check every time you go into each room in the
Mhm.
company. And then if you go into that room, say it's in the kitchen, I'm going to check and make sure that you're not stealing somebody's food, and that what you just took out of the refrigerator belongs to you and not to somebody else. So you're constantly
Mhm.
checking. So it's not that you have zero trust ever. It's that it's a constant, continuous checking of authentication, verification to ensure that what somebody's doing is acceptable.
And this is what it
Marshmallow.
means every single step of the way. You're a thing. You walk into a company, you get to door number 1. They go, "Who are you and why are you here?" You pass that. Then you go to another door and they go, "Who are you and why are you here?" When you go to when you go to the airport and there's like 9 people to check your boarding pass.
Right. Although the nice thing is that most of this is done invisibly so that people don't know what they're checking. So it's things that are passive about you, like where you're coming in from,
Mhm.
knowing your location by your IP, for example, which machine you're using, because you tend to use your phone and your laptop, but you never use your iPad, for example, to get in. So yes, it is doing all those checks, but it's doing them in a very, very low friction way.
Mhm.
It's sort of invisible to most users most of the time.
Are you saying that we have to get to a level of trust with machines or AIs or this type of deal where we just have to work together? Like I have to look at my fridge that can tell me that I have no more milk and go, "I trust you, fridge."
Well, I mean, that's where digital trust is really going. It's really this sort of bringing together three different aspects of trust. So the first one is humans, right? And humans, we know how to trust each other, hopefully. And we can set things like parameters and boundaries on what humans, the ethics of trust. So the humans would actually set up what the policies are. And then you would use machines and systems to validate and continuously verify that those are being applied. So to make sure that, do you have the right to do this or not to do that? You can't take somebody else's money and transfer it, for example, right? So putting that, so
Gotta stop telling me that.
it's humans, it's humans and machines. And then the third part of it is really the policies and systems themselves, and being able to talk to others so that you can gain trust between companies and between organizations. If you're going to buy something, do you trust the company that made it? And they can have a trust page that then gives you the output of what the humans thought up, what the
Mhm.
machines are validating, and then you can see that with like a certification against something that's a standard that gives you a confidence that this company that you're doing business with, you can trust that they're doing it in an ethical way,
Yeah.
in a risk managed way.
Talking of shadow IT and
Yeah.
Karen not wanting to go to the top
Right.
and find the exact AI that the company's using. She's going to go rogue.
Yeah.
Karen's going to do whatever she wants to save a couple minutes. What do we do here?
Yeah. So Karen's probably not just going rogue for the sake of going rogue. I mean, that's the really important thing to remember, is that Karen's trying to get her job done more efficiently. And right now, there are a lot of executives who are actually tasking employees to adopt AI to automate parts of their job because they're seeing efficiencies. So this is all in some senses positive. Where the negative comes in is if the company doesn't have the ability to govern or understand what's being adopted, how it's being adopted, to set policy about the use, then it could be that Karen is sending sensitive or confidential data into an open, or free tier web app, and it's putting the company's data at risk. It's violating confidentiality policies. So it's really critical that you work with Karen or work with your entire team, with your organization, first to discover and understand what they've adopted for AI, because there's a lot of use right now.
Are lawyers the hardest ones to get to agree on a thing?
I have not found that in my experience. Very often, I think actually some of and I don't even think it's hard. It's just the engineers really want to move fast and break things. They want to get out very quickly. Customers are saying, we want this new product right now. So very often it's sort of helping to convince them that we're not trying to slow anything down. The lawyers, the security, the CFO, we're not trying to slow things down. We're trying to make sure that we all move as quickly as possible. There's an old saying in security that we're the brakes on the car. And brakes don't slow you down. They make sure that they enable you to go around really tight turns as quickly as possible without spinning out.
Okay. I just learned something about cars as well. Couldn't the company just go, look, here's the AIs you're allowed to use. They're up on this board here. Use these ones or get out.
So that's actually is one thing that organizations are doing, is that you can say, here's the AI that's approved. And many companies will say, we've got a Teams or a paid version of ChatGPT, use that instead of Claude, or we've got one for Claude, use that instead of ChatGPT, or only use Microsoft or Google, Microsoft Copilot or Google Gemini. So that is something that the organizations have done, and that's fine. And they've written policies and acceptable use around AI into other existing policies, which is helpful. But that doesn't, the conversation doesn't end there, because you've got really motivated and excited people who are adopting agentic AI out of things like Salesforce, or they're downloading open source models from Hugging Face and then training them themselves for their own new use case, their own workflow. So it's, in addition to saying, here's the ones you can use right now, it's a constant conversation with the business and with the people on the lines of business, the different people in the organization, to make sure that what you've said is approved is keeping pace with the newer technology and how they want to adopt it at the company.
Diana Kelley, I think I've learned things here.
Okay.
And you've done a great job. My brain is just, it hears stuff and then it goes, I get scared, I get panicked, I learn, but then I also go,
you're asking the questions. That's what matters. I think you're thinking about this.
Greatly appreciate you being here today.
Thank you.
Ready or not?